Oh, it's live, pal.
Sorry.
We will ban you from the Summerfest.
Right here in the Silverdome.
Jeff Harvey.
And I have half the brain that you do.
Welcome to Wrestle Hunks Weekly. We are less than 3 weeks away from WrestleMania, so everything's starting to pick up in the world of wrestling. I'm Brady Price, as always. I'm joined by the Shelton Benjamin to my Charlie Huss, Nathan Marley.
What an intro.
I'm just, because obviously we're the world's greatest tag team. Let's not stop.
No, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. This is no faction here, just a tag team.
So like I said, there's it's not a lot to talk about, but there's obviously a lot of important stuff happening on Raw and SmackDown as we inch closer to the biggest weekend in wrestling. We'll have all your favourites, top five, and some Twitter questions as well. So we'll get to that a bit later, but we'll start off and we'll just sort of run through Raw and what happened on the A show supposedly. It started off with Brock Lesnar actually showing up, which was nice. It was sort of Heyman cutting a promo. McIntyre came out. He cut a promo. Brock just stood there. And then Seth attacked McIntyre from behind with a steel chair and sort of chased Brock out of the ring, really. Brock didn't want any part of it. What were your thoughts on this, Nat?
I'll just tell you, it's not in Brock's promo that he needs to face anyone before WrestleMania.
Exactly.
It's not in his contract. He doesn't have to do it. And I saw the chair shots from Seth Rollins. And did you see the video of the cameraman?
Yeah, the camera just going.
That's fucking intense.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, but
no, yeah, I'm hyped for this match. I don't even really need anything from this. Story's already there, so I'm happy with whatever they do.
Is Brock going to be on the last two Raws, or probably just the go home?
Nah, go home. Maybe you next week. I don't think there's a reason he should be though.
Yeah, they don't really need him. So that sort of set up the match to main event the show, which will be Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. Elias announced that he will be the headlining musical act at WrestleMania, which I'm sure...
Thank God. Thank God it's not Kid Rock.
Do you actually see, is he actually going to perform, do you think, at WrestleMania? What are they going to do?
Oh, no, he's going to get interrupted, and I feel like it'll be a little surprise.
Yeah, like The Rock.
And it could be The Rock.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout.
It's either The Rock or Undertaker, and Undertaker's just going to tombstone him, and that's it.
Yeah.
But other than that, unless we just get Lacey Evans, that'll suck.
That'll be fun. That's a long ramp for her to walk down just to walk back up.
That'd be hilarious, though. That's a perfect toilet break.
I know. It's going to be a long show, so that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, get the snacks ready.
Beth Phoenix announced she's willing to come out of retirement to team with Natalya for a shot at the tag team titles.
Is she now? She's willing.
Yeah, she's.
I didn't ask.
Yeah, no one asked her to come back. But this sort of led to a little war of words between the Boston Hug Connection and Beth and Natalya, which we got a match between Sasha and Natty, which ended in a DQ when Tamina attacked. I think Tamina attacked them while Nia sort of looked on. So this is looking like a multi-team match, I would have thought, for the tag titles, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and they've done a great job in making me not give a fuck about this division already.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably the quickest time they've ever done it.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly. They're trying to improve, which is good.
Because Cruiserweight's different. Cruiserweight has its own show.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Something else that happened in the women's division, Ronda Rousey defeated Dana Brooke in a matter of seconds.
Disgusting.
She sort of just kept the armbar in, and she ended up hitting a referee and security guards and stuff like that. And even her husband, I've forgotten his name, the small Braun Strowman.
Travis Brown.
Travis Brown is his name. Yep.
The UFC invasion.
Yeah, how exciting is this? We get to see some guy that doesn't wrestle.
It's the greatest. And I loved how Dana Brooke had a really heartfelt promo last week, and they really followed it up this week with a great performance by her.
the start of the match, Ronda Rousey went for like a kick, and Brooke caught it, and I was like,
Yeah, and she punched her in the face.
yeah, I was like, here we go, and then she just tapped out like literally 3 seconds.
Yeah, like that sucks. Because Dana Brooke's cool. She's a cool lady.
And I enjoyed her promo last week, so I was sort of hoping they got around it a little bit, but
yeah. So, but that sucks. Fuck off, Ronda Rousey.
yeah. Something that a lot of people weren't too happy about. Kurt Angle announced his opponent for WrestleMania, and it's not going to be John Cena or Chad Gable or Shelton Benjamin, anyone that anyone wanted to see. It's going to be Baron Corbin. What were your thoughts on that when you heard this announcement?
I'm excited. That's where the heat lies. Because we're all angry now. But maybe John Cena, he just drives his WrestleMania 23 car and hits Baron Corbin and says, "I'm going to have this match."
Yeah.
I just this is not going to be interesting at all. If it does happen.
Yeah, if it does, this is just taking up a spot on the card for me, and it's not. I want to see Kurt go out in a match that we want to see rather than this.
Yeah, it's true.
We saw Batista via satellite. I just have here. He said some things about Triple H.
He was on a throne.
Yeah.
And he said, "What is your malfunction?" or something.
Yeah, it was an interesting promo. I think they did a good job.
Everyone said he looked like a drug lord.
I mean, a little bit. Apparently,
he was on his throne.
Apparently, that was at his house. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's.
Well, I hope so.
So yeah, they've got 2 more weeks to sort of get this right and make sure that everyone's invested in this match. But this promo didn't really do much for me. So
yeah.
And the main event, before the match started, Drew McIntyre challenged Roman Reigns to a match at WrestleMania. So that looks a likely match. I doubt Roman Reigns turns it down. And then we also saw Drew McIntyre get a win over Seth Rollins after a distraction from Brock Lesnar. Do you think this was a good way to sort of get Drew the win, but also keep Seth sort of strong?
Makes everyone look good, yes. Makes everyone look good.
Overall, it's fairly uneventful, to be honest, this Raw.
Seems like that Raw went for an hour and a half.
Yeah, there was probably other stuff on there, but I've written down the stuff that's probably of note, and the rest.
I think Chad Gable had a match with Angle, am I right?
Yes, he did. Yes.
Yeah, that sounded anticlimactic.
I mean, it's always good to see Chad Gable.
I think that was almost like get that out of the way, so we don't. So it's like we did it.
Yeah, people can't complain that we didn't give it to them.
Yeah.
Ricochet beat Jinder, but that's like.
That sounds good.
I think Aleister Black. They said something about he was on doing something in his home country or something. I'm pretty sure he's on his honeymoon with Selena Vega, wasn't he? Was that?
I had no idea, but that would make a little bit of sense.
Yeah, so Ricochet was on his own. So yeah, not a lot to happen from Raw. I think all the newsworthy stuff's happened on SmackDown, so we'll get into that. The Miz cut a passionate promo to start the show, promising a WrestleMania ass whooping for Shane McMahon. Did you see any of this promo?
Yeah, I saw this promo. It's a good promo, pretty good promo. Got the crowd behind him a little bit.
Yeah, they've done surprisingly well with this build, I think. This match isn't one that, we sort of knew this was going to happen from late last year, so for them to get it to this point where people are actually invested in the Miz as a babyface and Shane as a heel is pretty impressive, I think.
I hope Miz's dad cost Miz the match.
Could you imagine the heel? He would get a lot of boos.
Two dads just winning.
Shane's the son I always wanted. So we had Sasha Banks and Bayley make an appearance on SmackDown as the tag team champions. They can appear on all brands. They were defeated by the Iconics, which was nice to see. And now the Iconics sort of are staking their claim for a championship match at WrestleMania. What are your thoughts on the Iconics finally getting some recognition?
How good does Peyton Royce look with her new hair?
She's killing it.
They look good. They got a win over the champion, so that's pretty good. And they called them out for weeks and weeks, and they proved themselves.
So is this? Do you think it'll be a fatal 4-way for the title?
I hope not. There's going to be a trillion bloody people on the show, and it's going to be all rushed.
Yeah.
So I kind of hope they wait off now on the Iconics.
Are you like for me? I would prefer them just to not like if guys aren't going to be on the card, don't just throw them into a multi-man match. Like
Exactly.
if you have nothing for them, just don't put them on the show. I don't understand.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
We got a backstage promo from Rey Mysterio. He was joined by his son Dominic, who we last saw in 2005 when he was the same height as Rey. So this was nice to see. I don't know how old he is, but he is training to be a wrestler at the moment. And Rey announced that after last week, when he pinned Samoa Joe, he's going to be challenging for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. Are you excited for this match?
See, for some reason, I don't think it's just going to stay these two. I still think it might come back to the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, I feel like Andrade probably get himself in there somehow. And truth is,
yeah, but but if this is the case, these two, it's going to be a great match.
Yeah, and I'm really happy that Samoa Joe finally gets a WrestleMania match. He's missed out on that.
Oh yeah, he loves to get injured around this time.
Yeah, so hopefully he stays healthy for the next couple of weeks and he can be on the show. That'd be awesome.
Agree.
Kevin Owens' show made a return. It was two special guests, Charlotte and Becky. This sort of was Kevin sort of just making a couple of jokes, which I found entertaining. I love watching Kevin Owens. And then he sort of asked for Becky's response to a question, and they just started brawling.
Because he knew it was going to happen. You know what happens when there's a table in the ring? Yeah. They have to fight. I
love that Kevin Owens told him to wait. He got out of the ring and he said, "No."
Just on Kevin Owens, saw him mention on Twitter because someone said, "Is there going to be a Kevin Owens KO Mania shirt?"
Yep.
You know how he used to have one every year.
Yeah.
He said, "Maybe not, because only if I get on the show."
Exactly.
So that's gonna suck. I kind of like those shirts. I even have last year's one.
Yeah. Well, where do you see him fitting in? Is there a spot?
I don't. No, I don't.
Battle Royal. He'll
be in the Battle Royal. Yeah. That sucks.
It does. It's unfortunate. But
same with Mustafa Ali.
At least the one good thing is that it makes the Battle Royal feel important when you have names like
that. You got Braun. Yeah, if you had Braun and that, yeah, I guess so.
Any thoughts on the brawl between Charlotte and Becky, or are they just sort of spinning the wheels a little bit until we get to WrestleMania?
Oh, spinning their wheels big time. They're not even mentioning Ronda Rousey anymore, so
that's true.
Doesn't matter. Whatever.
I just thought I'd throw this in here. A little WWE.com exclusive. There was a backstage segment with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Next week will be a fatal 4-way match to determine Asuka's opponent at WrestleMania. It'll be Mandy, Sonya Deville, Naomi, and Carmella. Who do you think will win that one?
The fans. Definitely the fans, but maybe not the Demandees Donuts viewers. Yeah. They still haven't mentioned any bloody tension between them on the show. Can't believe they're doing. No, they haven't done that.
Yeah, that's outside of kayfabe, that show.
But it's a bit hard to have a screwy finish here. So someone's walking out from facing Asuka, and I have no idea who it will be. If it's going to be one person.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of thought it would be the triple threat with Mandy and Sonya. And the one thing I can see, I don't know if they'll do it, but a double pin where they both have their shoulders down or something like that. But that seems unlikely. I'm kind of hoping for Sonya Deville. We've seen Mandy. We've seen Naomi. I don't know if Naomi Asuka would be that great. And I don't know if... We've seen Carmella Asuka as well, so I kind of hope Sonya Deville will win it, but...
You don't want to see bloody the hip attacks versus hip attack or whatever? The rear end?
Oh, I mean, mate, her entrance would be cool.
They can just do it the whole match.
Just keep attacking each other with their hips.
Yeah. But no, I don't know who's going to win that at all.
It seems a little out of left field if Naomi or Carmella won it. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So the main event, which took up more than half of the show, was Kofi Kingston in his gauntlet match. He defeated Sheamus, Cesaro. He defeated Rowan by disqualification to beat Samoa Joe and Randy Orton. We all thought that Kofi was going to WrestleMania to face Daniel Bryan, but in typical Vince McMahon fashion, he said he had to wrestle one more opponent, and that opponent was the WWE champion Daniel Bryan. Bryan ended up hitting the running knee and defeating Kofi to close out the show. what were your thoughts on this main event?
Was it true last week that Vince didn't actually mention he'd face him at WrestleMania?
Um,
Because I was listening to the What Culture podcast, and I think they mentioned that, and I didn't know if that was true.
I think it's Vince he didn't say you're facing Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the title, but he did say
Yeah, I think he said. Yeah, he said you're gonna get a WWE Championship match.
Yeah.
Was it for the title?
No, that was he said when he brought Bryan out. He was like, if you beat this guy, you go to Mania. So yeah,
Okay.
it's sort of interesting. Like, where do you see this going? Like, we've only got 2 more episodes of SmackDown before WrestleMania, so I mean, there's no other way they can go. Like, it's Bryan and Kofi. It has to be the match. But how do you think they get there?
I wouldn't be surprised if they left it to the go home show.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that, but geez, yeah, they are leaving a little bit late for this, but I guess we kind of know where they're going.
Yeah. I mean, the go home edition of Raw and SmackDown before Manias, sometimes they can be a little boring because it's sort of they're just sort of waiting for Mania to happen. So maybe they're trying to make that an interesting SmackDown. And I don't know. I'd like to see the build happen. I'd like to see some like a promo between Bryan and Kofi or something like that. So hopefully Kofi gets injected into the match next week. But yeah, like you said, it wouldn't surprise me if it's the last SmackDown before Mania that they do it. Did you watch any of the Gauntlet match?
No, I haven't seen the Daniel Bryan and Kofi match.
It was really good. I mean, it was over an hour of Kofi wrestling. It was really good stuff. But I sort of knew. I was watching it and I was like, oh, there's like 7 minutes left of SmackDown. Like, Kofi just won the match. This isn't going to end well. But it is what it is. I just thought we'd mention after SmackDown was 205 Live, and Tony Nese and Cedric Alexander had one of the better matches I've seen this year. Tony Nese defeated Cedric Alexander with the running Nese, and he will face Buddy Murphy at WrestleMania for the Cruiserweight Championship. Are you happy for Tony Nese to get that title match?
I've never gone from 0 to 100 like so quickly. Tony Nese won, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Because I did watch this, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. Tony Nese versus Buddy Murphy, that's weird.
Yeah.
Then Buddy comes out, I'm like, oh, this is boring. This is going to be shit. And then I'm like, oh, this just shook hands and stuff. Like, where's this going? And Buddy attacked him. I was like, oh my God, I'm here for this match.
Yeah.
I was hyped straight away.
It's cool that Tony Nese is getting like a little babyface run. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
I didn't really see him as a babyface until this tournament, so it's cool. It's good to I guess it makes sense. Like Cedric had his moment last year, so give these two guys a shot, and they can have their WrestleMania moment.
I think Buddy still retains here.
Did you want to talk about NXT now, or do you want to leave that for the news roundup?
I didn't put it in, but if you want to talk about NXT now, we can.
Well, I watched it just before, and Triple H came out and announced that Tommaso Ciampa had to vacate the NXT Championship because of his neck injury. The plan was Gargano versus Ciampa at TakeOver New York, but instead there was a fatal 5-way held on NXT this week, and the winner would face Johnny Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the vacant title. It was Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, Aleister Black, Ricochet, and Matt Riddle. And I think that was the only match that was on the show.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a really good match, as you would expect with those 5 guys, and Adam Cole came out with the win, so it'd be Adam Cole versus Gargano at TakeOver.
Give it a star rating.
The match today?
Yeah, the NXT match. What was it? Was it good?
Probably 4.5 out of 5.
Jeez, that's one to watch.
Yeah, 4 to 4.5, something around there. It was a really good match.
Very nice.
Yeah, but that match between Cole and Gargano is probably going to be one of the better matches of the year, I would have thought.
Yeah.
And they also announced today Walter versus Pete Dunne for the UK title at TakeOver as well. So the card's shaping up to be very, very good.
I don't want Pete Dunne to lose.
I know. I feel like he's really close to the 2-year mark at the moment. So
it's only a couple more months away. It's sad.
He's done a great job. So
it's true.
Someone, I don't know who it was. Someone said that R.I.P. Pete Dunne's title reign and his chest. So that's going to be a fun match to watch.
Yeah, 100% will be a good match.
So we're just going to get into the current WrestleMania card and sort of go through the matches that have been announced and the matches that seem like they will be announced. So obviously we've got the Raw Women's title in a triple threat: Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. Seth versus Brock for the Universal title. Just as we mentioned, Asuka will face either Sonya, Mandy, Naomi, or Carmella for the SmackDown Women's title. Triple H and Batista in a no-holds-barred match. Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. Shane McMahon versus The Miz. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin in Angle's farewell match. Samoa Joe versus Ray for the US title. Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese for the Cruiserweight title. And the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So, out of those, what are you most looking forward to so far?
I'm gonna say, I think I'm gonna say the Brock Seth match. I think they haven't fucked around with the build there too much. They fucked around with the triple threat match, so that's cooled off a little bit. But I'm really excited for. Hopefully Seth gets the win, but don't be surprised if Lesnar wins.
Yeah, that's what I'm
just. I can kind of see this ending up in a Roman Seth feud again.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think the build has been good, and I think the match will be good because it's sort of been mentioned like how good Brock is with the smaller guys, with Finn and AJ and Brian.
He actually seems invested in this.
Yeah, it's
gonna
be fun. I can't wait for that one. Is there a match you're least invested in at this point?
Look, I just got to say, probably, obviously the Angle match, but I don't care for the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they got to the main show, but since Braun's in it, I don't know.
Yeah.
And if they have it in his Continental title match with Bobby and Finn, I don't care.
Yeah, there's been rumors.
There's reports he was going to be the Demon. So,
I mean, that's the only thing they could do that would make it slightly interesting, I guess. But I don't know. Hopefully that they do that and then Finn just wins in like 10 seconds, like he did against Corbin at SummerSlam. That would be ideal.
Yeah, just all those matches and the potential ones. That's 15.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've got here the matches that could be announced or sort of being rumored. Daniel Bryan versus Kofi for the WWE Championship. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, which will probably be announced next week or maybe the week after.
Yeah.
And then we've just got here the Intercontinental Championship match, a Raw Tag Team match, a SmackDown Tag Team match, and they could potentially bring back the Women's Battle Royal like they did last year. It's looking like a long card.
It is going to be a long boy.
Yeah, are you sort of worried about the potential for this to go 6 or 7 hours and have to sit through the whole thing?
No, I'm not worried. I'll survive. I like my wrestling, but it's just hopefully it's not all just the main event matches are alright, and then like everything else is just like filler rushed.
Yeah.
But it should be interesting.
I feel bad for the people in attendance because they have to sit in those little uncomfortable chairs in the same spot for.
I don't.
7 hours. You don't?
They paid for those tickets.
Yeah, that's true. But for me, like I'll last year you and I were sitting on your comfortable couch, just relaxing, and I could get up and stretch the legs whenever I wanted, and I wouldn't miss a second. So
that's true.
I'm not too worried about the time. I can't wait. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But there are a couple matches that obviously aren't too exciting. Like you mentioned, Angle and Corbin. Hopefully that one doesn't last too long, and Angle can just ankle slam, straps down, and ankle lock, and just finish it real quick.
Yeah.
We sort of mentioned, but is the build to Brock and Seth, or what is the build to any of these potential matches that you're most invested in so far?
I think kind of the Triple H Batista one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit interesting.
And there's that nostalgia factor as well, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
You're a big Evolution fan, growing up, especially. So.
Yeah, and we're just on Evolution as well. Randy and AJ as well. That's going to be an underrated one too.
Yeah, I feel like that could go on early in the card. They could give it a bit of time, and I think those two will tear it down if they.
I could see that going on first.
That'd be a great match to get the crowd hyped to start, I think.
Yeah.
either that or maybe like the US title match or something like that. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's Brian and Kofi. I think that build has been really good, and it's organic, and the crowd are into Kofi. And
Oh, hang on a minute. We don't know that match is happening yet.
well, whatever this build, the build to the WWE Championship at the moment.
Maybe Daniel Bryan has a night off.
Could you imagine? They just don't have a title match.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
But yeah, this obviously wasn't the plan like a couple of weeks before Fastlane, and now it is. So it's pretty exciting. And geez, if Kofi doesn't win at Mania, the crowd will be very upset. So that sort of does it. I'm sure we'll talk more about the WrestleMania card next week, and then we've got the WrestleMania weekend preview show the week after, so we've got plenty of time to talk about that. So let's get stuck into your news roundup.
Alrighty, the news. We'll start off with a retirement. Did you see that Adam Rose has retired?
Yes, I did, but I didn't know he was still wrestling. So
yeah, I didn't know that either. But he said he's finishing up his dates and then he's going to retire. So that's a little bit sad. Very, very strange career for him.
Did you ever watch that ESPN documentary on NXT?
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
They followed. Who did they follow? They followed Adam Rose, Xavier Woods, and I don't know who else they followed around. It was someone from NXT. They followed him around and their journey through NXT, and Adam Rose was one of them. And his story was pretty interesting, and it just made you wish that he would make it. And he did for a while there when he was Adam Rose, and he got onto the main roster, but yeah, obviously didn't work out for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's true. We've got the Young Bucks have won the AAA Tag Team titles in a shock match against the Lucha Bros.
Yeah, their build to the Double or Nothing match is starting to pick up, isn't it? They just keep showing up wherever the Lucha Bros are.
It is. So I'm really clutching at straws here. So Velveteen Dream has defeated Orange Cassidy at Evolve 1-2-3. That was originally, remember, it was supposed to be Ricochet versus Orange Cassidy.
Right, yeah.
And that was the guy that Chucky T rigged the votes for. So yeah, that happened. It was a very average match, but apparently the crowd was very hot for it. Obviously, because Velveteen and Orange Cassidy very over, apparently, very with his lazy gimmick.
Yeah.
So we have a match announcement for the G1 Supercard, and it's the Ring of Honor title. It's the triple threat ladder match between Jay Lethal, Matt Taven, and Marty Scurll. What do you think of that one?
That's yeah, it makes sense. They went to the 60-minute Broadway, Lethal and Taven at the anniversary show. So I haven't seen that match, but I would like to. I'm interested to see how it went, the 60-minute match. But hopefully Marty. Well, we don't really know if Marty's going to stay or go, but if he wins the title, that's going to be a big moment.
Yeah, wins the title. He's staying for a little bit at least,
for sure.
And his boys have all the bloody titles.
Villain Enterprise is taking over wrestling.
Yeah, but PCO, he's never gone away.
It's amazing that he's in the prime of his career right now, and he's like 50.
It's amazing, and he only has one eye too. So
yeah, he's killing it.
Well, one eye on the prize. But we've also got some more Evolve news. I thought it was pretty cool. NXT's Kyle O'Reilly is going to challenge for the Evolve Championship next week, during WrestleMania week. At Evolve 124 on Saturday night, it was announced that Austin Theory will defend his title against O'Reilly at Evolve 25, April 4th. Yeah.
I'm not obviously, I don't think I've ever watched an Evolve show, but for the fans of Evolve, it's pretty cool that they get to see these NXT guys come down and have these matches with the guys that they watch every week. So it's pretty
yeah, exactly. And I think the Street Profits just dropped their titles from on there. They were the Evolve Tag Team Champions for a little bit.
Yeah, they were, that was a pretty big shock when it happened, and NXT won the titles.
Yeah. Next, we've got a match announced for the at the New Japan Cup Finals for the New Japan US title. Juice Robinson versus Chase Owens. The crown jewel finally getting to do something in New Japan.
That's good. That's exciting for him.
Yeah, it's different. He's not being as buried when the old Bullet Club was there, so it's good.
Yeah.
A couple of signings with contracts. DJZ signs with WWE. He's a former Impact star.
Yeah.
You probably don't know him, but I don't.
Not too well. I've heard of him, but
Never heard of him, if I'm honest.
oh, really?
No, never. But next up, speaking of TNA, we've got AJ Styles. No, he didn't sign with Impact. AJ Styles signs a new WWE contract, and that's some pretty big news.
But the main thing out of that post was the cute little dog that he's now welcomed into his family.
Oh, that dog is so cute.
I know. That's people are talking about his contract. I don't know why. That's the dog's more important.
Exactly right. Also, we have Impact Wrestling and OVW, which is owned by Al Snow. They've announced that they have re-entered into a working relationship, and OVW will serve as an official development and training territory for Impact.
I love this.
It's good. Impact and OVW began in 2011 until 2014, and then OVW was also developmental in the 2000s for WWE.
It's cool. It's like it just gives Impact that first, the first access to those young guys that are coming through OVW, so that hopefully it just helps the Impact product continue to get better.
Yeah, I agree. It's a slow process, but they're getting it done.
Yeah.
Flip Gordon has been officially cleared to return to the ring. That's shit for the World Series Wrestling fans.
I just missed out, didn't I?
You just missed out. You had to sit through some musical chairs and some other stuff. I can't remember what else they did. Yeah. But some horrible news. Tamina has a new shirt.
How?
Did you see it? You haven't seen it?
No, I'm going to look this up.
Oh, it's bad. Just write nobody meaner than Tamina on Google.
For fuck's sake. Why did she get a shirt?
No idea. Tell me when you've got it up, because it's not a great shirt. I think it's just because her and Nia Jax are getting a bit of a push ski.
That's no excuse for Tamina getting a shirt.
That's very true.
Oh my god. So
do you see it?
Yeah, that's not great.
It's not a great shirt, if I'm being honest. But some news from today. According to a press release from WWE, the company is anticipating a move from their Titan Towers headquarters. And they're anticipating this move to take place in 2021. And they will be moving to a new complex on 677 Washington Boulevard. And they will be selling their current headquarters.
So it's in Connecticut still, aren't they? They're moving to?
Yes. Just a different building. Getting rid of the history building. It's a big deal.
Yeah, that's strange. Maybe just to get a newer building, I suppose, but still, it's Titan Towers. Everyone knows of it, so.
Yeah. Also, this day in history, at WrestleMania 10, Shawn Michaels faced off against Razor Ramon in a ladder match. And Razor Ramon won. So that's a really good match you should go back and look on.
Definitely.
If you're looking for some content. So next up, we've got UK wrestler Sadie Gibbs. Do you know who Sadie Gibbs is?
No, I do not.
I'll get into that. Sadie Gibbs is the newest member of the women's division signed to All Elite Wrestling, announced today. And if you remember correctly, this is the nice lady who dickhead Will Ospreay said wasn't ready for Japan, and Japan wasn't a vacation. I don't know if you... Do you remember those tweets?
I do remember those, yeah.
That's one of the girls. And speaking of that dickhead, New Japan Cup quarterfinal match, Okada defeats Will Ospreay in 20 minutes. That was last night.
Oh, was that a good match? Do people think that was a good one? Or?
Meltzer said it was slow up until the 15-minute mark, which it went for 20, so about the last 5 minutes must have been good.
Oh, that's all right.
So that's my proper news, but this part of the segment is so long I've made it its own thing. So this is the YouTube roundup. So first up, we've just got go catch up on your up down down with Xavier Woods. He makes about 50 episodes a day, so get onto that. There's a new Being the Elite episode, 143. It covers the Bucks AAA title win. They pretty much show the whole match, it feels like.
Yeah, it does.
Not a bad episode. Felt like a bit of a filler episode.
Yeah.
That's why they had the whole match. I did like Hangman's full gear challenge and him throwing the burger.
Yeah, Hangman's full gear challenge has been good, but for me, I actually think it's dropped off a little bit being elite. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but
there's no Marty, there's no Kenny, there's no Flip. It feels like it actually feels like SCU is the one carrying the segment, the whole like show now.
It really is, yeah.
So being the SCU. Next up, we got Sheamus's Calzawari workouts as usual, but again, it's an Usos episode 71. There's no new Samoa Joe video still after a month. I'm very sad about that.
I don't know. I thought he was going to start up like a weekly thing, but
I was hoping that too, but maybe he's given up. Episode 28 of Demandy's Donuts at Long's Bakery in Indianapolis. They still don't mention that they cost each other a match. But you know what you shouldn't catch up on?
What's
that? Lana and Rusev's channel.
Oh, so it's still going.
Yeah, Lana posted hashtag salty news roundup.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's bad. And we got one last video for YouTube, and it's that I've discovered Chelsea Green's channel, and you can now catch up on her new vlogs about her broken wrist. And her YouTube is just Chelsea Green.
Yeah, did we mention her broken wrist last week? I can't remember.
I don't think so because I think it happened that day.
Yeah, but that's unfortunate for her. She's finally got I think it was on TV that match that they taped. So, and then she broke her wrist in her first match. That's really unfortunate, but I'm sure she'll be back.
Yeah, but yeah, she seemed very sad at first, but now she's happy and posting bikini photos.
Yeah, exactly. With a cast on, so that's good.
Exactly. So only the good stuff, and that'll do for all the news. Seems like there was more YouTube news than actual news.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure things will pick up next week or the week after. We've got plenty to come.
It's true.
In the next couple of weeks. So that takes us to this week's top 5. So this week, I'm in charge of the top 5, and I think this might be my last top 5 before WrestleMania. So I thought I'd get another one that's WrestleMania themed in. I've gone for the top 5 WrestleMania stage designs.
Nice.
I'll give a little shout out to, I think, was WrestleMania 9 the Toga Party?
There was 2 of them. Wait. Yeah, I think it was WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, well, the one where they sort of dressed it up and made it look like it was I think it was at Caesar's Palace.
Bobby Heenan rides the elephant backwards to the ring.
Quality stuff. Apparently the show wasn't good. I've never seen WrestleMania 9, but I thought the stage, they did pretty well to sort of dress it up and make it look like, especially back then. But I've got number 5, I've got WrestleMania 32. I don't know if you remember this one, Nat, but they had like the big, it was like a star, like sort of hanging over the top of the ramp. And they got that WrestleMania, like the Longhorns on the logo.
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
And just the big, like, wide stage looked really open, so I've given that number 5. Pretty solid. Number 4, WrestleMania 18. Do you remember this one?
No. Is it similar to WrestleMania 19?
No, it was like a big, it looks like it's just scaffolding set.
No, I don't remember it. I'd have to go back and see it.
Yeah, so that one, number 4, it's pretty cool. Just a lot of metal and whatnot. Number 3, WrestleMania 29 from MetLife Stadium, which is where this year's Mania will be. They just went with like the New York skyline and the bridge and the Statue of Liberty on the top of the whatever that thing is that's over the ring.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty solid. Number 2, WrestleMania 34 last year. They had like the mask that was like the main centerpiece of it, and
yeah, that was cool.
I don't know what the thing is you called. It's like hanging over the top of the ring, but that looked lit. It had a bunch of lights sort of coming off the top of that, and the best WrestleMania entrance. I hope you agree with this, but WrestleMania 33 with the roller coaster and the Universal sign in the middle. I think that one was by far the best they've come up with.
Oh, it's definitely up there. It's pretty cool, that one.
And they had that the long ramp that like went from the top of like the the building, basically.
And that's it. That's your number one.
Number one, absolutely.
Any honorable mentions for WrestleMania 19's long ramp?
Yeah, well, that's the only one that was in a baseball stadium, wasn't it? 19.
Yes, probably.
Because they had like.
And what about WrestleMania 21's?
I mean, WrestleMania 21's all right, I guess.
I think they did it better. The SummerSlam, the SummerSlam they did in LA, like they had a movie theme.
Yes,
it was like the Michaels Jericho match.
Michaels Jericho.
That's not match, but
the segment.
I think that's where Jericho punched his wife.
Yeah, it looked like it was like it had like the cinema, like the I don't know what you call that, marquee, like a little marquee at the top.
I like your list, like it a lot.
That's good stuff. Yeah, and obviously WrestleMania 33, the Hardy Boys return, so that'll be stuck in my head a long time from now. I would have thought.
Nice.
I don't have a trivia question, I don't think, this week, which might disappoint.
That's okay.
Yeah, I bet it's okay. No one wants that again.
I'll forgive you.
So we'll get into this week's Twitter and Instagram questions. We'll start with Instagram, and our performance coach at DBH_performance coach wants to know if you can put your clothes in the dishwasher.
I don't know where to start.
Does that work? Can you clean your clothes by doing that?
I mean, I'm assuming you could. I don't know how well that would turn out, but I've actually heard that you could. I don't know if it's true, but you can wash your jeans in the dishwasher, and apparently it turns out better.
Jeez.
I hope Darcy doesn't use his dishwasher as a washing machine.
Yeah, hopefully not. So we'll get into at Unforgiven 15. Sorry, that name was a bit confused. There's numbers in there. They want to know the thoughts on the continued swerves in the Kofi Vince Daniel Bryan storyline.
I think it adds to the story.
Yeah.
Gets us heated, and we just want Kofi to win.
Yeah.
It builds him up. I think.
Yeah, I think like when I was watching SmackDown this week, just like after he won, I felt so happy. I felt happy, and then when he lost, I genuinely felt upset, even though I know that he's probably going to be in the match anyway, and it's a good chance he might win the title. Even though I knew that stuff, it genuinely made me feel those emotions, which I think is a good thing. It doesn't happen all the time in WWE these days, so I think they're doing a good job, personally.
Yeah.
At Dan_Cassidy97, do you think Corbin vs. Angle is a swerve? If so, what do you think the bigger plans are?
Just like we said, maybe perhaps. I mean, probably not in like driving a car into Baron Corbin, but maybe Cena attacks Baron Corbin or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly don't think this is a swerve. I think this is WWE.
This is what we're getting.
They like Corbin, I think, and I think they're going to give him the match for whatever reason. Maybe if fans speak up, and I know a lot of fans have been pretty vocal that they don't want Corbin. They pretty much want anyone apart from Corbin. So maybe they change their plans, but at the moment, I think they're pretty set on this. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
At Maximus_Talbot, should Drew beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania?
No. I don't think so. No, I don't think he should. Not after the return of Roman. Even though it would give him a lot of heat. Yeah. I feel like it's right for Roman to win.
Yeah, it sort of makes sense that Roman wins this one. As much as I would love Drew to win that, I think they will go with Roman getting the win. He's finally back wrestling again. He's only had the one match, so to get at WrestleMania would be huge. So that's our Instagram questions. We'll go over to Twitter now and see what everyone thinks. There was one question here about Doze. It's at Zombie SFX wants to know what species is Otis Dozovich.
What species? What kind of species would he be? He's like a bit of a mix between like a rhino and like I don't know, a rhino and a monkey or a bear. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got so much charisma, and he's just you can't understand what he's saying, but you laugh at him anyway. I don't know. He's a different cat.
He's something different, but I think he needs to drop that dead weight Tucker Knight and just.
And he should hire Scotty Tuati.
Oh, could you imagine? They did like a double worm caterpillar combo.
Oh, that's just got me a little bit ticklish down there.
At Slayer Momsen wants to know what role can Jinder Mahal play at WrestleMania?
He can play the sitar. No, geez, this guy's a very heavy Jinder Mahal fan, but I see him in the Battle Royal. Perhaps they all gang up on him. Maybe he tries to lay his mat out in the Battle Royal at the start, try and keep the peace.
Yeah, he's telling people Shanti and whatnot, but
yeah,
I agree with you. Battle Royal. That's if he gets on into an actual match, I'd be very surprised.
Maybe he'll verse Kurt Angle.
I mean, he had his WrestleMania moment last year. I don't know if anyone remembers, but he won the US title in that Fatal 4-Way. So
I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I don't remember that.
Yeah, you have to think pretty hard to remember that one, unfortunately.
Really do.
At Lyson_Jedi wants to know what exactly does Lacey Evans do? Is it just limited to a runway walk?
Yeah, I guess she's just a runway model. Guess so. I mean, I don't know when she's actually going to have a match though. I guess it would have to be after Mania. But geez, I wonder what story like they're actually going to go with.
I know people aren't too into it, but I mean, she comes out for a hot second. I get to sing her song for a little bit, and then she leaves. I'm sure, yeah, like you said, after Mania, they'll probably put her into a program. They're probably just trying to keep her face on TV so people know that she's there and remember her, and people can sort of form opinions, and then I'm sure she'll get a push after Mania of some sort. At Sonia the Rose wants to know, why does No Way Jose look like Naomi?
Oh my god, I actually saw a photo of this. And yeah, he does look like Naomi. What's going on with that hair?
Yeah, he's got like, is it dreadlocks or like braids or whatever, and they're bright green, so it's kind of scary. I don't know what the deal is. He's probably just trying to get noticed, I suppose.
That's true. I mean, if you're bright like that, you probably will.
Got him a match on Raw this week, so it's pretty good. And the last question here is a pretty good one. At Saquin15 is asked, if you do a takeover where past NXT superstars face current NXT superstars, what would your card be like, and what would you name it? So, do you want to start us off now?
I will. I'm just finalizing it. I've actually done it in an order.
Yeah.
So, don't judge me for the very first one, but you know, this man did appear on one takeover event, and it's Jushin Thunder Liger.
Nice.
Versus Seth Rollins.
All right, I don't mind that.
I'd have that to open my show.
Yep.
I'd have for the I'm just trying to lay it out like a proper show. For the NXT tag titles, I have DIY versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I think that's a little bit of an obvious one.
Yeah, nice.
I'd also go for Park or Neville versus Ricochet.
Wow, that's a great match that I didn't think of.
I was trying to think of someone for Ricochet, because you have to have Ricochet. He's a once in a lifetime kind of talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is the one you and I agree on: Nakamura versus Matt Riddle.
Yeah, you'd be crazy not to have that match on the card, I think.
Just it's one that just immediately comes to mind. I'm gonna have one more match before the main event, and it's gonna be a bit of a weird one, I think. I'm gonna have a six woman tag. I'm gonna have Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley taking on Britt Baker, Deonna Purrazzo, and Chelsea Green.
Is there a reason behind that? You just want to get them all on the show?
Chelsea Green, Britt Baker, and Deonna Purrazzo are all really good friends.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna face the three of the four horsewomen. I think that would be a nice match. and because they don't have really a fourth woman, couldn't chuck Becky in there, so fuck Becky. And my main event for the NXT title will be Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe.
Ooh, yeah, well done. That's a. Do you have a name for it? That's the last part of it.
Oh, jeez. NXT Takeover Throwback Friday. I don't know. Can't come up with a name. I came up with a pretty good card that makes up for it.
Exactly. I've gone with. I thought the name NXT Takeover Reunion, something like that, would be probably what they'd go with.
Yeah, probably.
I have a couple matches here. I got the Sky Pirates versus the Boston Hub Connection.
Nice.
Yeah, Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, obviously. I think they've sort of teased it a little bit. They went to that. Sasha and Bayley went to that live event in NXT, so it might actually happen. I've got, for me, the tag. You made a very good tag team match with none of the guys that I have in here. I've got Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish against the Revival. I don't know. I just
nice.
My two favorite NXT tag teams. So yeah, I've gone with them. Like you said, Matt Riddle, Shinsuke Nakamura. You'd be crazy not to have that on your card. I got Adam Cole versus Kevin Owens. They're pretty good friends, and I feel like that would be a pretty good match. Two of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah.
In the world at the moment. So those two, I've got for the women's match, Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair.
Wow, that would be full of athleticism.
Exactly, those two are like two of the most athletic superstars WWE has. So I think that one would be pretty good. And I've got the main event. I think should be Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor.
Wow, didn't even think of that. Them two.
That would be like Johnny puts on great matches with everybody. So if he's in there with Finn, that one would be next level.
An all-timer.
Exactly.
That's nice, very nice.
So shout out to that question. We appreciate.
Good question, really good one.
That sort of does it though. I think that's all of our questions this week. Unless you have any more, Nat.
I have some other news I forgot to mention.
Yeah, let's go.
There's a lot of trademarks being filed for that are WCW related, and apparently All Elite Wrestling are trying to get Bash at the Beach.
I saw Cody tweet. He tweeted Bash with a gif of a beach. So.
A beach, and he also quote tweeted, and he wrote, if I was you, I'd turn off the Google alerts on trademarks. They're personal and most aren't intended for AEW. I've filed and claimed over 50 over the past few months. I'm just trying to get some of my dad's cattle back, and that's the story.
Well, yeah, respect.
They've also, apparently, the Battle Bowl and Bunkhouse Stampede has been tried to be trademarked.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it fits AEW to bring those back anyway, so I don't think he would use them.
Oh, I think Bash at the Beach.
I would want him to, because I love the idea. I think that sounds awesome, but
I don't think Bunkhouse Stampede, unless they did the Cow Palace.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, so I guess that's the very last piece of news.
Yeah, well, I didn't mention before, but if you do want to get in contact with us, you can do so on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestle Hunks Pod. If you want to get in contact with us personally, Nathan's on Twitter at Nath Marlowe, and I'm on Twitter at Evil Brody Price. That should just about do us for this week, so make sure you rate the podcast and subscribe. Let everyone know that what we're doing, and get them listening as well. Yeah, so you can find us on all good podcast services. And if you don't have anything else to say, Nat, are we done for this week?
I think we're done.
All right, well, until next week then, stay hunky.